I would like just to thank all of you for sending your wonderful children to IS 145. I want you to understand that we're going to be here at IS 145 to support you at all levels. And you will be able to see that throughout our pandemic. So we're going to share with you a video that maybe some of you have seen, but it's just to see, get another taste or a different taste of what IS 145 was a couple of months ago. So let's begin with that.
Required to have the standard courses of English, math, social studies, and science, but we try to educate the whole child, if you will, and offer as many opportunities.
This school specializes in learning new things and being able to expose the students to other opportunities that they wouldn't normally get.
IS 145 is different from other schools because, first of all, we're an enormous entity. From the staff of 130 teachers almost to 2,000 students that come from all over the world with so many strengths and so much background, which is the platform of who we are.
My favorite part about IS 145 is the community
that I don't think people know about.
I was in the dance club, and we used to stay after school to practice dance, and I really having fun.
The one program that I think does a great job in supporting multicultural learning, program that helps students to transition from learning from their native language to English. So those programs really help them to sort of feel secure.
The dual language program is that one day is in Spanish and then the next day is in English, and it keeps going, like rotating back and forth.
In a large space, every single person feels like they are cared about and that they are loved and that they are important. And I would say it would...
You hear me, Jamie?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, good. So that was IS 145 a couple of months ago. We will be back. And we will make sure that we will continue providing to all the students and parents what we have been offering for the past 4 years when I took over as a principal of IS 145. So today, I would like to once again welcome the unique class of 2023. What a special class. And because you're so special, we're doing this today on a Saturday. Because there's a lot of going to work together, and we are going to make sure that you will receive what you deserve as a student and as a parent of IS 145. Go to the next slide, Jamie. Ms. Clapman. So these are some of the familiar faces that you will be talking to, reaching out to. Actually, our second meeting would be with your assistant principals of the different academies and the teachers from those respective academies. So this is just the beginning of a series of meetings so that when September comes, we are all well informed and all questions hopefully have been answered. So we have Ms. Titus as the assistant principal for Enterprise, Mr. Nick for Explorer, Mr. Jorge for Global, and Mr. Mateo who's joining us today from the Discovery Academy. Next slide. In each academy, I'm trying to work really, really hard to provide a solid infrastructure besides the academy directors, APs. So we have for the Explorer Academy, and I think I will have soon another advisor for the Global Academy. And when it comes to the school counselors, we have Ms. Pasichiri for the Global Academy, and Ms. Salgado for Discovery, Ms. Frias for the Explorer Academy. Salgado is Discovery, Frias is Explorer Academy, and I'm working towards getting another if it's possible, budget-wise, another school counselor for another academy. Next slide. Okay, so entertaining, but I would like to share with you the information that I already have that I can work from, which I think is very important for all of you to know. The first document has to do with the preliminary social distance capacity. That document was provided by the Department of Education, and what it states is that I cannot have more than 650 people, including students and staff at IS 145 on a given day. That document was provided to us by the Department of Education based on the amount of classrooms we have and staff members and the student population that we're servicing. The second document that I can work from is the social distancing room capacity. At this point, what I have with me is a document that states that Ben, students and teachers or staff. If the room is smaller than a location that I can work from. Then we also have programming models. The Department of Education provided to us different samples of programming models that I will be sharing with you this afternoon. I'm taking out of the guidelines critical information that I'll be sharing with you this afternoon. I have also control of the school budget. You know what's going on money-wise in our nation. So I will share with you what I have so far regarding our school budget that will impact the amount of teachers that I was able to keep and staff members in my school. I would like also to share with you the amount of students that I have per class. As of now, I have 56 classes, general, what I call classes of 30 students per form that was provided to us by the Department of Education. Questions that they have definitely answered. And I would like to share that with you at some point as well. I would also would like to share with you when it comes to the social emotional component, which is another critical piece to this. I would like to share with you also the clinic that we have in our building from Elmhurst and the health city hospitals, plus the clinic that I have for counseling in schools. Also, I would like to share with you how our school will look like from a safety and a school staff perspective, and the signing system that we're going to have, and the different posters and information that will be posted around the whole building. And also the way I've been in consultation with various divisions. I had a big meeting on Thursday where I have representatives from 6 different divisions, including representatives from different hospitals and custodial staff, kitchen, and so forth. So let's move on to the next slide. So now there are certain things, parents and students, that I don't have an answer yet. And that's why, for the third time, I'm going to reiterate that we will be having more meetings throughout the summer to keep you informed. So what I do not have at this point is the number of families who chose Model D, which is the model that parents will choose to keep their students at home remotely at all times. Our programming models that we have for the kids, we have a model that I'll share with you a little bit later, but if I don't have how many parents have chosen Model D, which is keeping the kids at home. Once I have that, then I have to readjust the programming models that we have for our students that will be in person in our school. I do not have the number of teachers that will only work remotely. Teachers were given a choice to work in person or to work from home if they have an underlying condition or if they are 65 years or older. So I'm trying to finalize the blended model that will be used for instructional purposes. That will be for our next meeting. Next slide. Okay, so many of the questions that have been out of school for 3 or 4 months are coming to school on a rotation basis. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to put together that information that once again will be shared with you in our next meeting. Let's go back for a minute, Jamie. We need to go back, Jamie, to the blended.
I know. Sorry. I'm trying.
Okay. So when you look at the blended model, what I have in there is the 7 components of good instruction, remotely or in person. So the first thing that we need to talk about, not today, but our next meeting, are the different learning platforms that we are going to have in our building and use from home. Our teachers will be using to deliver their instruction. We need to talk about the core curriculum with digital components, which means the curriculum that we're using, we have textbooks, but many of those curriculum, I'll be sharing with you some of that today. When it comes to blended learning, it's also about instructional practice that they are learning what they're supposed to based on the 6th grade, based on the 6th grade standards and curriculum. Engaging all stakeholders, this is something that I have to share with the whole school community. They all need to be informed about how blended learning will look like for the students of IU. Addressing unfinished learning. Many of the students, for some reason, got caught up with not having resources and some teachers not having the tools to deliver their instruction. Just bear in mind that the last day of school for our students was on a Friday, and they never had an opportunity to come back. So we could put together alternative ways to provide to them the curriculum or the material. Would be discussed with you parents and students in our next meeting. Next slide. Okay, so right now, all your students, 6th graders, coming to 145. We'll be seeing each other very life of your children. It's just 3 years. So when it comes to 8th grade, we have 8 periods of English language arts instruction. We have 4 periods of science. We have 2 periods of physical education. And we have electives in visual arts, computer, dance, culinary arts, drama, health, library and media arts, and life skills. So you will have any questions and you will be more than welcome. How IS 145 looks like right now. Obviously this meeting. And let's try to see how it looks like. So let's play the video, and as you watch the video, I'll be talking to you about it. After school, we're gonna do after school programs first? No. Okay. Okay, so this is our mascot, the lion. A lion's production. Once you're a lion, you're always a lion, right, Mateo? So that's our, okay, so this is how it looks right now. So when you walk into our building, you will see the artwork of some students that have put together. This is one of the academies on the 3rd floor. I'm trying to keep it inviting to the best of my ability. So once again, this is just how one of the hallways on the 3rd floor look like, with the artwork that once again has been unfinished because we left our school at the end of March, mid-March actually. So this is the 3rd floor of our building, basically with the Global Academy is housed. In that academy, we have our maker space. And that's how, that's our makerspace. This is one of the innovative rooms that we have put together for the incoming school year. We were supposed to have celebration, but everything was stopped out for obvious reasons. Teachers from the science department, mathematics, English, and so forth. Once again, for this particular room, because of the size of the room, I cannot accommodate more than 16 people. So that would be either 14 students and 2 staff members, or 15 students and 1 staff member, and so forth. This is some of the work that the students have started to put together. And just waiting for the science instruments that I need to put in there, the BioBus microscopes, but I'm working on that. So you will see some of the posters that were produced by one of my workers, one of my staff members, I should say, this week. I'm sure the students will be excited. And I'm trying also, was part of my plan, to have parents to come to school maybe once a week for 2 hours and do some work in the makerspace, because we have parents that volunteer their time to come to IS 145 on a weekly basis. And I don't know how it's going to look like coming into our building to take some courses, if you want to call it that way, or workshops. Okay, some rooms on the 2nd floor New Wing. So you will see here some of the artwork that the art department has put together, or has encouraged students to do, to make our school look, I guess, much better. This is the hallway leading towards the new wing of the Explorer Academy. On your left, you will have the Mr. Nick's office, assistant, and it has the new wing. The new wing has lockers. The old wing doesn't have lockers, but the Enterprise Academy in the basement. But I will share, that information will be shared with you when we have the academy directors with addressing all of you in our next meeting, not today. And this is the 3rd floor, as I stated before, and the 2nd floor. So anything else, Jamie, for the video, or are we done? We have, okay. So this is how the classrooms will look like. 10 students, desks and chairs, and 1 desk for the teacher. The good thing though is that every single room has access to smart boards, and we have, and I guess Mr. Marcel will talk to you about that later, regarding the technology resources, equipment that we have on computers and iPads and Chromebooks, etc. This is one of the particular one. I can accommodate up to 16 people. So 15 students, and I guess, and obviously 1 teacher, or 15 students, 14 students, 1 teacher, and 1 assistant. And so we have, okay. So now let's talk a little bit about, Jamie, you have more of the videos, or we have technical challenges here?
I'm just trying to fast forward through it and it's not letting me.
Okay. You need a minute for that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we also have a dance studio. Um, this is how, because again, we need to balance the life of our kids in a middle school setting between academic uh, rigor and the standards that they have to meet, but also the non so-called academic courses. So this is how it looks, brand new. Last year was the first year we were able to use it. And not let's just have the dance studio, we also have our culinary arts program. This is how our uh, kitchen looks like. I have two teachers that will be servicing around 50 classes in our building. It's fully equipped. I just need the kids to learn how to cook. So let's see if they can sharpen those skills. I'm sure they have learned how to cook from home, but sometimes it's good to learn in school also how to cook. And this is how it looks. In case that you have, if you are taking, let's say, if you're part of the culinary arts program, that is also on the third floor, by the way. Okay, now we have in the basement of our building, we have four floors. And the basement, what Titus used to call the garden school, we have 3 art teachers in the basement. This is one of the murals of the work that the kids produced last year from September to March. Then I'm sure we have access, I don't know, Jamie, to the wellness center, probably. Classrooms look like. Again, I cannot put more than 10 students in that class starting September, if we are going to be in our schools, of course. And depending on the amount of students that will be coming to receive in-person instruction that I'll be talking to you in a minute. This is one of the classrooms and the resources that we have for the teachers and the students to enjoy the beauty of being in an art classroom or involved in an art lesson. Our makerspace, the counseling and school section. I'll talk about it later. Now, time after school programs. This is, I don't know how is that going to look like again, because this is a program that allows these teams to compete with other schools throughout Queens, and then if they make it to the semifinals, it's with schools, I guess, in Brooklyn and other places. We have the Beam Center Makerspace. We have an after-school program for that. We have Chance Sports in our auditorium, in the gym. We have Cooking Club. We have Dance Club, Dance Crew, and the Dance Club for the Lion King musical. We have 3 teachers that are working really hard in having a drama club. We have the hand sewing and textiles. We have photography, running club, soccer team. The soccer team, Jamie, you want to talk about that?
Even with us being in remote learning, the coaches that we work with who are from Italy have been Zooming with our students along with myself and my assistant coach, Mr. Berdalis, and countries. So Mexico meets intercampus group. So our kids got to interact with people from the students from Bolivia and Mexico. It's really great, and we hope to continue it next year, whether we're in remote or not. We're gonna try to continue it.
Very good. And then we have visual.
I think it's a separate program
Let's
that
play
is housed
Roblox!
at IS 145. I'm sorry about that. So again, the Sonic program is a program funded by DYCD and it's housed at IS 145. It's a separate after-school program from IS 145. It's run by Queens Community House. And normally they allow up to 120 participants. My understanding is that this year, if we are remote, the program will also be available remotely. And again, they provide homework help and different activities for the kids, such as drumming classes, physical education classes, classes. So it's a great addition to our after school programs that we currently offer directly from the school. So we can offer to, since we are a large population, we can actually serve more kids in our after school programs.
And all these programs are for girls and boys, all of them, boys, including the soccer team. All these programs are for boys and girls. Our next slide. Okay, so let's have a little bit of fun. A lot of talking, right? So the work that we do at IS 145, regardless of this tragic situation with COVID-19, we always wanted to have our students be exposed to their electives. So let me share with you what the dance teacher did during our remote times from March to June. And what I envision though is this must continue, either remotely or not remotely.
Que é que elas querem? Bailão de rua. E aí, bandinho, o que é que elas querem? Bailão de rua. Descontrolada, ela mexe sua cintura e joga pam, 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 pam.
Because we have a lot of images, but it was interesting how some of the students involved the little brothers and at some point involved the young mother that danced at the end. So it was interesting to see the kids having fun. If we could say that this is something that is happening right now, but we try. So now, when it comes to the social emotional learning, again, we have the luxury of having an Amherst mental health clinic in our building. I had a meeting with them last Thursday, and we have a plan to ensure, to the best of our ability, the well-being of our students and staff, clinics, for these clinics to offer services to your child. Once again, this is completely free. You can still keep your insurance. This is just, I'm gonna give you a quick example. Let's say a student feels sick in a classroom, has a headache or storing up, then I could take that student to the clinic and then in our school, and then she will be able to work with the child, take his temperature, talk to the kid, then reach out to you. So in order for the kid to walk into one of those clinics, we need your consent. So this is how it looks like. I'm gonna send it to you electronically. The forms. Okay, so Mr. Matteo, would you like to talk about now more than ever, parents and students, we need to be tech savvy. So this is also a class that I'm taking with some students. The students are so ahead of us. At least I have.
So we are a very technical school. We are blessed that before we had to go out on remote learning, we ourselves were a Google school. Now New York City has created both student and the parent. One thing is we have a great website, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. So when you access our website, if you look up here, our website is 145innovators.com. And anytime we have, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger. Anytime we have something really important, we want to make sure you, the parents, and the students see, we will put these alerts where it stops you from actually going onto our website. So right now, parents, you have a survey that you have to fill out about the learning preference of your student. So what we did is we set this alert up, and you could read what it says. You have two options. You can either opt your child to do 100% remote survey that you guys will fill out. You have till August 7th. I'm going to hit, don't show me. I'm going to hit that. Okay. So this is what our website looks like. So some things that you really need to pay attention to. First thing is any latest news that we have that's important, we will put it right here. So right now, like I said, the survey that you guys have to fill out, your preference sheet basically for your student is right here. We would put it on our calendar, which is right here. Unfortunately, our calendar only shows up to 5 events. So you would have to go to show all events if you wanted to see more. If you are not already done so, we have a email list. Incoming sixth graders have something a little bit different, and I'm going to show you this. So if you go to any of these tabs up here, they're great resources, especially for the students and even the parents. We have many great things. So where I really want you to guys take a closer look, which is this return to school tab that we have here. So if you guys would go, you would go to the sixth graders, which you got, your student is class of 2023, and you would come to here. All right. You have the welcome letter that you guys all should have received from Mr. Rodriguez. Here's the link. This will take you to activating your student DOE account. If you have any type of information, change, update, contact information, you would click on this and it would bring you to this Google form, and you would just fill this out. Again, email address, student OSIS number. It's really crucial for you guys to put the student ID within the DOE. So there's that. There's school last year, or we really would like to make sure that we get our students, all 100% of our students, access to some type of device. So we just want to take inventory to see what our students have. So this is not only a sixth grade thing. If I go to a tab for our 7th and 8th, it's also there for them as well. Department of Education, it will walk you through the steps. Again, if you need it translated into any other language, you just go right here and click whatever you need. That's what is great about the DOE's websites. You can put it in any language. And our last one that we really need to be a part of is this information for you, the parents, like Hub, where we like to put everything, but we also have other areas that you can go to find information. One is Pupil Path. Our middle school uses, I guess in elementary school, you might use something called STARS, but Pupil Path is a really great tool that teachers I know definitely utilize when coming to communicate with parents. Like I said before, Google Classroom is the platform that we've used in the past and moving forward using the DOE's domain. So we'll be able to, our school is on social media, Twitter and our YouTube. So these are all them right here. Right now we're doing YouTube Live, but I also put that link on our Facebook page so that anybody that's a part of our Facebook group can click on that and also see it. Mr. Ritchie, would you like to add anything? Mr. Mateo, Mr. Rodriguez, would you like to add anything?
Mr. Rodriguez, you're muted.
No, I think you covered everything. Mateo will do that in Spanish for the 5 o'clock parents. But let me just say to you, parents and students, this is very important that we have some sort of communication with you through these emails. I'm going to give you a concrete example. My next meeting with you, parents and students, will be with your APs to submit it in your elementary schools. So you need to know which academy you're going to be placed. You need to know which class will be placed. But more importantly, parents, I would like to share with you at that meeting our curriculum for ELA, which is expeditionary learning. And I think it's critical for parents to know the curriculum that we're using for that particular department. Also using. When it comes to social studies, passport to social studies, how does that look like? When it comes to science, the amplified curriculum. Don't forget, when it comes to middle school, you have at least 6 teachers. So this is a lot of information that we need to really share with you remotely in our future meetings. I guess 2 or 3 or 4 more meetings. So that's why it's so important that you sign up, that we have all that information to reach out to you. Let's go to the next slide. So again, since this meeting is more about things that I already have in my building, and I'm sure there are a lot of concerns about health and safety due to the COVID-19. In our building, when it comes to health and safety, we will have health checkups and screenings per DOE age guidance. As of now, the meeting that I had states that there will be people checking the temperature of every single student that walks into the building and staff. How we're going to do that, we're still working on that, but that has to be established. We need to have recognized signs and symptoms of illness to maximize social distancing. Again, we cannot have more than 650 people in our building, no more than 10 students in a classroom. As soon as I have all that ready, I'll be sharing that with our school community. The next topic has to do with, those are the signs. We have put together some signs already.
No. Washing your hands, yes. Not touching your mask, yes.
Can you mute yourself, please?
Okay, so let's go to the next slide. This is something that I'm trying to put together. So welcome to Enterprise Academy. Hand washing is your superpower. This is just examples. Actually, these are things that are done at the Makerspace or building in classrooms to make every single person we have. We're going to be promoting the social distancing, maintaining existing safety requirements designed to protect students. We'll continue to conduct mandatory fire and lockdown drills according to the existing schedules, requirements. So these are things for you to know that I'm still working. But I met with the food services director and I have implemented a plan. So this is an example of things that I've been doing. So we will have grab and go breakfast in the morning, will be eaten inside the classroom, and lunch will be eaten inside the classroom. So these are the areas that we already have discussed with the staff from our cafeteria, custodians, and teachers. When it comes to transportation, business as usual. Transportation we provided, the yellow bus, that's for some students, and the city buses, metro cards will be provided, and so forth. The social emotional well-being, again, next. Okay, students and parents, this is what's driving me a little bit crazy. So, for example, right now, I'm going to take as this is just an example, okay? Let's say school begins September 7th. this is just an example. So I take the first month, September 7th to October 2nd. And I'm going to take class 631. 631 has 30 students. Those 30 students will be subdivided in group A, group B, and come to school Wednesday and Thursday and that's just if students are in person. Group D will be from home, and we will be adding this as soon as I get the amount of students that parents have chosen to stay home. So let's go back to 631 to 635. Those students just are the ones traveling to the room. Obviously, there will be time for them to stretch. I have around 550 students on a daily basis. So this is more or less how it's going to look like. I will be posting in our website different samples of how we will be scheduling class into 3 subgroups. And each subgroup will be coming to school twice a week on a rotation basis, if not going into the following week to complete the rotation basis. So when you look at this particular calendar for September, Tuesday and Wednesday, and so forth. So this is how more or less it's going to look like. Personalize what I'm saying to you. Don't forget, I'm still waiting, and I won't have that information after August 7th in terms of to stay home to work remotely. I don't have that information yet. But for now, this is how more or less it's going to look like. So with this, what I'm planning to do is create a color-coded system, and with this color code system, when it comes to teaching and learning, and I would like to have a meeting just to talk about instruction. Let's say we have all the logistics in place. Let's talk now about instruction. That's why I need all the parents to sign up with our Innovators account, or DOE Innovators account, website, etc. So I can share with you our curriculum and how each instruction would look like. I'm starting on Monday learning model. That information will be shared with you at our next meeting. But guidelines, general guidelines, equitable instruction for all students. It doesn't matter if you are an ELD or a special education, it doesn't matter. Equitable instruction for those students. Ensuring continuity of learning regardless of the instructional model used. We're going to use model, I think it's coming up later, Jamie, the models that we have and so forth. Clearly communication information about instructional plans with parents and guardians. All that has to be established. Again, this is the beginning of a series of meetings. I think we're heading towards the end, right, Ms. Clapman?
Yes.
So now, parents, if you are in a dual language program, I will have a separate meeting for dual language students. It will be completely different, but I will have all your answers, all your questions answered in terms of the dual language model. We're keeping everything the way it is, but I will have a meeting just with the...
I know somebody asked in the chat about academies, and I just wanted to state there really is no difference between the academies, with the exception of the Global, which holds our dual language and our E&L program.
The differences. So the curriculum is the same when it comes to expeditionary learning for ELA, CMP3 for math, GoMath and GoMath, and Passport to Social Studies for Social Studies, Amplify for Science. When it comes to curriculum, it's the same. But we have other varies a little bit in terms of the support, the electives, and the focus in some of the classes. So I will take note of that, and for our next meeting, I will elaborate on
that. Somebody asked, when will they be told which academy they are a part of?
Excellent question. I already know which academy and class your child is placed. Dana, are you in our meeting still?
Yes.
Sent to me through the articulation process, and I have it. So what I'm going to do is I can easily, and I will have to ask you, Mr. Mateo and Ms. Gladman, the parents that sign up today, I could send them the classes right away, right?
Yes.
Okay, so parents, as soon as we finish this meeting, I guess it has to be on Monday because we are working from homes. But on Monday, I'll send to you the academy and the class of your child.
But I think it's important to mention, Mr. Rodriguez, that the link that we provided in the chat for all parents to complete, as of right now, I only have 15 participants who completed the form, and we have over 41 participants currently. In order for us to provide the information of the classes that their children are in, it will help us a lot if they complete that attendance, and if they can post any question in there also. We gave an opportunity for everybody to post any questions they have, and those questions will be answered and posted in our website as well. So you guys can always go back into our website, and where Ms. Clapman showed everyone, school, a section, and we'll add an every
for their preference or choose their preference to keep the kids home or not. We still want to send you the class that you're
meeting 50 minutes.
Spanish-speaking parents at 5 o'clock. We have a lot of parents sign up for that meeting and the class. And I'm finalizing students and teachers programs, so you can get a draft of your program as well. A draft, because it has to be finalized in STARS, which is the one that the city and the state will approve. But when it comes to 145, we're going to input information in our system, and I can send you a draft of how your class will look like in terms of the different subjects and program selectives, etc. Our lunch periods, gym periods, etc. Our gym period, our gym is open. I'm not doing that. The gym is available for the kids to have gym. How we're gonna do it, remote, in terms of the amount of students per period, that's in the works.
Jerry, do you have anything you'd like to add? Sorry, Mr. Rodriguez, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Anything
Jerry,
else?
No, just to make sure that they get on and do the learning preference. This way they can let you guys know which way they want the children to learn, if they want them to stay home or go to school. And they can find that link in the chat.
And Jerry, that's on August 7th, the last day, right?
So August 7th is the last day to fill out that form. So if you fill it out now, you let them know if you want your child to stay home 100% remotely, or if you want them to go to school with the sample model that Mr. Rodriguez showed.
Now, Jerry, by default, if they don't submit anything, by default, it's going to be in person and remote. Yes?
Yes.
So if you don't fill it out, it means that by default, you're sending the child to school. We are in person and sometimes remotely. Okay, so next question.
Somebody asked, are you going to make sure you fill in the attendance sheet, and we'll make sure we email it back to you guys, or he'll get the information to you. He doesn't have the programs in front of him right now, so he can't tell you right now.
Right, but I will send it to you, the participants right now. I'll be sending to you the class for your child on the academy.
Right. Which to the person that just asked, what form are you talking about?
On the New York, put in the link. There is a survey that all parents are required to fill out to school. The link is in the chat.
Right when you sign into the school website, it literally stops you from going to the website. If you hit where it says read more, it will literally bring you to the survey that you have to fill out.
You want to share them that now, or?
Well, I'm just actually sharing the actual link to the survey in the chat box. I keep dropping it in. That's the preference.
Okay.
Somebody says where can I find the form so I can get my child's class and draft program? Mr. Mateo, you want to drop in the attendance sheet one more time so that they can fill that out?
Sure.
Someone asked, how am I going to know if I don't want my child to be in the dual language program?
Right, that's something that I will just send me an email, I'll call you, and then Elder. So I guess that's a separate conversation. I will just email me or send me an email.
Mr.
Email me the information and then I'll call you and then we'll have a conversation.
Mr. Rodriguez, for parents to know, your child will only be placed in dual language if that is what you filled out in your original application in October.
Right.
All other children will be in a general education or a special education class, depending on what they were in the 5th grade.
Right, right. So, and when it comes to dual language, they had to be in dual language in 5th
So
grade.
the survey that they want the DOE to fill out is a survey for all students in all grades so that every school will know where that child should be placed, if they will be staying home or if they will be coming to school.
Good. Next question.
I think that's the last question. I dropped Mr. Rodriguez's email.
I think I said it. I want to have a separate meeting for all the parents that sign up for dual language. How was that?
One last, and how would they do that?
Right. I think Jerry has that information, but to my knowledge, there's a period that they can do it. It cannot be that say Monday I have my kid in school.
Let's say you send your child to school first, and then you decide for whatever reason or medical reasons you want them to stay at home. When the announcement is made, you will fill out the form to have your child stay home. But like Mr. Rodriguez says, it's not something that you go to school one week and then you stay home the next. There's a time frame for going to school or changing to go remote.
And again, that's why this is so important. You have until August 7th. I would like to have flip side to that was it's a beautiful day and people want to be outside, especially on 34th Avenue. But I could do it at night. I don't have an issue doing this at 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock at night. That's the beauty, if anything, with this Zoom accessibility. So once again, we're going to keep in touch. I want to thank all of you for taking your time. And I would like to have multiple meetings, including one with the kids. I would love to have a meeting just for the kids, just